Here is the modern way to harvest many types of forage crops. This field forage harvester saves crop value, time, labor, and expense. It handles row crops, windrowed hay, or other forage, gathering, chopping, and loading in one quick power job, which eliminates all bundle handling and heavy pitchfork work. By handling several tons each hour with one-man operation, the field forage harvester has ample capacity to catch every crop at its peak quality, even though the crew is small and the working day cut short by milking or other necessary chores. The result is higher quality and extra feeding value from all types of forage crops. Green grass silage with greater vitamin and carotene content, row crop silage made from corn and sorghums, chopped hay stored in the mow. This one dependable base machine may be equipped to handle all three big jobs. The change from windrow pickup to row crop unit, or back again, is made with a minimum of time and effort. Here is a close-up of the forage harvester with windrow pickup unit. And here is the machine equipped for row crop harvesting. This is a truly modern answer to the problem of better forage and easier harvesting for hay, green grass silage, row crops, and straw for bedding. Now let's see just how the field forage harvester does its triple job of gathering, chopping, and loading. In the machine shown, gathering is done by the large diameter floating type pickup cylinder, which carries the windrow gently to a dependable feeding mechanism. Above the conveyor is the feeder drum. Next in order is the intermediate roll, then the spring-loaded feed rolls, which work just ahead of the shear bar, and finally the cutter wheel with its knives. High, almost vertical lifting of the windrow greatly reduces any chance of rocks or other damaging objects being carried into the cutting mechanism. Pickup is power-driven for positive operation. During transport, the pickup drum is locked by tightening this bolt and the one on the reverse side to provide extra ground clearance and eliminate excessive bouncing. During operation, the bolts are loosened and pickup drum floats against spring pressure. Working above the forward end of the conveyor, the floating feeder drum forces the windrow back to the intermediate roll, which in turn moves it to the feed rolls. The feed rolls, one fluted and the other plain, are held firmly against the forage by spring pressure. The fluted upper roll raises and lowers to right on top of the incoming material, feeding it to the knife and shear bar. The shear bar is close behind the feed rolls. As the forage pushes across the shear bar, descending knives on the cutter wheel slice the material cleanly into desired length. The heavy steel flywheel or cutter wheel has three important functions. First, it carries the knives which shave across the shear bar for a clean vertical cut. Second, it carries impeller wings, which elevate the chopped forage up the delivery pipe and into the wagon. Third, it acts as a flywheel, storing up energy in the form of momentum to carry the cutting knives through tough wads and to clear the fan housing. Whether your harvester is chain or belt driven, an overrunning clutch on this drive shaft permits the heavy cutter wheel to keep on spinning for a short time after the power takeoff shaft, gathering mechanism, and feed rolls are stopped. There are four important advantages in such a design. First, clogging of the delivery pipe is avoided because fan housing and pipe are automatically cleared whenever the power takeoff is stopped. Second, starting is easier because the heavy cutter wheel is started first and spins freely while gears are shifted and the rest of the machine is set in motion. Third, knife speed is maintained by flywheel momentum when tractor speed must be momentarily checked. Fourth, power line is protected and tractor is not pushed ahead by the flywheel on sudden stops. Yet, forward momentum of tractor and harvester are instantly available to help maintain knife speed through tough material. The field forage harvester has a two-way delivery pipe. Chopped material may be blown backwards into a trailing wagon or sideways into a truck, as shown here. At the outer end of the delivery pipe is a deflector, which can be adjusted to direct the chopped material either forward or back and to left or right, as needed to distribute the load evenly. For easier transport or storage, the delivery pipe may be folded down by the removal of a single hinge pin. Now let's go back for an inside look at the row crop machine. Here we have a cross-section of the forage harvester with row crop unit. The basic machine is the same as before, but the windrow pickup has been replaced with this gathering and cutting unit for row crops, such as silage corn or sorghums. Notice the location of upper and lower gathering chains, sickle and stockway crossbar. Gathering points and chains guide the stalks back to the sickle. There they're cut by heavy sickle section and adjustable side knives. Cut ends are moved rapidly to the feed rows by combined action of lower gathering chain and chain rake feeding conveyor. Stalks are tipped forward as they move through the harvester and as the upper part strikes the stockway crossbar. Lower ends move rapidly, butts first, into the feed rows. From feed rows on, action of the machine is the same for either row crop or pickup units, except for length of cut. When the field forage harvester is used for the chopping of hay from cured windrows, two opposite knives are removed from the cutter wheel. For green grass silage or for corn silage, all four knives are used, and feed rows may operate more slowly. Here's the difference in the chop material. For cured hay, excessively fine cutting is avoided because it tends to make the stored hay hard to keep and to make it too dusty for best results in feeding. Two knives give a cutting length of 3 to 4 inches. Four knives give a cutting length of 1 inch for grass silage or a ½ inch for row crop silage. Remember, 2 knives for hay, 4 for silage. In the hay field, a second adjustment to check before we start making hay is the operating height of pickup teeth in relation to the ground. 1/2 inch clearance is right for average field conditions. The rule to follow is to operate the pickup no lower than necessary for clean removal of the crop. Height of pickup is adjusted by this tilting lever. For normal operation, the pickup drum is spring balanced to permit independent following of irregular ground contours. Easy operation of tilting lever is maintained by adjustment of the balance spring for proper tension. Now let's take a look at the hay field. Notice the light, fluffy windrows. This hay has been carefully field cured in single swath windrows to maintain highest quality at a low cost per ton. To make hay like this, 3 things are necessary. First, mowing when feeding value is highest. Second, raking promptly into single swath windrows. Third, chopping when windrows are fully cured. A short-tongued wagon with high sides makes a practical way of hauling chopped hay from field to barn. 3 such wagons will be needed if the distance is very long. It should be secure, yet quickly connected or released. Now a word about starting the outfit. The field forage harvester is simple to operate, but cutter wheel and gathering mechanism must be set in motion in the right way to avoid excessive strain on the power line. Start with these 3 shift levers in neutral: tractor transmission, power takeoff, and harvester feeder clutch. Then these 5 simple operations. First, disengage tractor clutch, set tractor throttle at half speed. Second, put power takeoff in gear, engage tractor clutch slowly. Heavy cutter wheel cannot be set in motion quickly. Third, bring tractor engine and power takeoff up to full speed. Fourth, disengage tractor clutch. Quickly shift harvester feeder clutch and tractor transmission into gear. Fifth, open tractor throttle to full speed and engage tractor clutch slowly. With the whole outfit running at full speed, cutting continues steadily across the field. Whenever possible, tractor should be operated at full throttle to maintain uniform knife speed. Use low gear to cross ditches or in strange fields, second gear or third when conditions permit. At the end of the windrow, the tractor clutch is momentarily disengaged just before starting the turn. Momentum of the heavy cutter wheel clears fan housing of chopped material, so none is blown on the ground as the delivery pipe swings out beyond the side of the wagon. Feeder clutch is also disengaged, so no more material is fed into the knives until wagon and harvester are in line again. The forage harvester makes it practical to handle the hay crop either as silage or cured hay, depending on the weather when the hay is ready to cut. The machine is quickly changed from the long cut needed for cured hay to the shorter cut required for good grass silage. Here are 3 basic steps to better silage. First, select best available crop. Have equipment ready. Second, match way of handling to condition of crops. Third, fill silo carefully and seal the top. Let's go back and take them one at a time. First, selecting the best available crop. Corn is easiest to ensile. Others, from easy to hard, include sorghums, meadow mixtures, grasses alone, and legumes alone. Second, match way of handling to condition of crop. Good moisture level for easy ensiling is 65 to 70%, but green crops may contain 80% or more. Reduce excessive moisture by windrowing with the mower and wilting for a few hours, or use a preservative. When juice can be wrung out of a handful of forage like this, moisture content is 70% or more. Such a crop should be wilted in the field, or a preservative should be used. Third, fill silos carefully. Air is removed from the silo by uniform distribution of cut material, especially next to the silo walls. When forage is rather dry, chopping short makes packing easier. Seal top tightly with heavy moist material and clamp firmly during settling. A few minutes tramping each day during this period will do much to reduce spoilage. Here is the forage blower, companion machine to the forage harvester. The blower elevates chopped material of any type into silo or barn. It has ample capacity to keep up with the field forage harvester and allow time for hauling. A spiral auger in the bottom of the hopper conveys the chopped material to the elevating fan. Flared sides reduce spillage, and covered discharge retards overloading. The blower fan is designed for high capacity at low speeds. Most 1 to 2 plow tractors will handle it easily when blowing the chopped material to ordinary silo heights. Notice the safety bail which stops the feeding mechanism in emergencies. Common methods of unloading at the silo are first, hand forks, second, drag off with tractor, third, self-unloading wagons, fourth, dump beds on trucks or wagons. Now back to the field forage harvester for a few service hints, applying especially to the row crop machine. Positive movement of cut stalks up the inclined butt pan is accomplished by gathering chains and pressure bars. The upper bar may be adjusted to fit varying crop conditions. Another important adjustment for top-notch performance includes these shims, which are provided to take up wear on guides at each end of the short, heavy sickle. For best performance, roller drive chain should be checked occasionally for excessive slack. Sickle drive chain is adjusted by shims between this bearing bracket and frame crossmember. The main jump clutch needs occasional attention to make sure it is tight enough to drive the sickle and feeding mechanism in heavy crops. Yet the clutch must slip when the upper feed roll is forced to highest position, or when a foreign object stops the sickle or feeding mechanism. Another point to watch is adjustment of the power takeoff shaft. The field forage harvester may be coupled to any modern tractor with standard power takeoff, but be sure the telescoping section slips freely and that the shields are in place. Provide consistent, careful lubrication, following the operator's manual at all times. Remember the field forage harvester as the three-way machine with plenty of capacity for a fast, low-cost harvest with a small crew. Chopped hay, green grass silage, row crops. One modern harvester handles them all. Use it for better feed at lower cost with much less labor. Here is modern field chopping, a better way to harvest many types of forage.